Hold on, says the fish. Let go, says the amphibian. Now I shall hold on, says the amphibian. Ha! I think you've let go, cried the reptile. Hold on, repeated the reptile. But you've already let go, replies the mammal. I can hold on, says the caterpillar. Better to change, says the butterfly. I will hold on to the sky, rumbles the cloud. And away I go, says the rain. I can hold on, look how solid I am, says the rock. No, you really cannot, says the soil. Hold on until you have to let go, says the leaf. Change before you have to, says the seed. Hold on to the wind, says the wave. Come to my side and let go, says the beach. Change will come. Yesterday will not. In the face of emotional and spiritual growth, we risk change. We light this flame to guide us through this change. Year as a House by Jan Richardson. Think of the year as a house, door flung wide in welcome, threshold swept and waiting, a graced spaciousness, opening and offering itself to you. Let it be blessed in every room. Let it be hallowed in every corner. Let every nook be a refuge, and every object set to holy use. Let it be here that safety will rest. Let it be here that health will make its home. Let it be here that peace will show its face. Let it be here that love will find its way. Here, let the weary come. Let the aching come. Let the lost come. Let the sorrowing come. Here, let them find their rest. And let them find their soothing. And let them find their place. And let them find their delight. And may it be in this house of a year that the lessons will spin in beauty. And may it be in these turning days that time will spiral with joy. And may it be that its rooms will fill with ordinary grace. And light will spill from every window to welcome the stranger home.
So one morning a few years ago, right about this time of year, my wife and I awoke with our little baby to a living room that was filled with haze. It wasn't smoke exactly. There was no smell of burning or anything particularly troubling about it. It was just a haze. And you could see the light cascading through the air, through the window, and you could see sunbeams trace their way all the way across the room, the air particles dancing a little bit, and we thought, this doesn't look very good. It took us a little bit checking around the house to the obvious heating elements and other things that we thought could create a haze, the furnace. And like anything, we went to Google, and a quick Google search brought us to the likely culprit, the quiet, subversive expeller of toxins, the humidifier. So it was a combination of running it a little too much, having a filter that needed to be cleaned, nothing particularly harmful, thankfully, but enough of a haze to make us a little uneasy. And I wonder, maybe some of you knew this, we did not. If you didn't know it, maybe you'll go home and check your humidifiers. And it propelled us into this yearly tradition, perhaps in your home too, that right after the holidays, after all the gatherings of late December, New Year's Day comes and New Year's Eve, like a light being turned on at the end of some evening party that was December, or a school dance, and all of a sudden you're a little squinty and you're like, how did the end come so soon? Why are we here already? Why is the light on? Because New Year's Day just comes like that. It comes back with light a little brighter that shines on the clutter and the mess and the remnants of festivity and feasting and wrapping paper and ornaments. It's like this haze. And now it's time to clean the clutter, to sweep the floor, to open again the pathways and places for movement and freedom and breath. Saying this now makes me anxious to get home and start cleaning, because we aren't to this clean place yet ourselves. That same year that we had this haze in the living room, a fellow teacher, one of my wife's colleagues at the school, after talking about this, said, "Oh yeah, every winter is too much for us. So each Saturday or weekend during the winter, all winter long for maybe an hour, maybe just a few minutes, depending on the temperature, we open some windows in our house and get a little crosswind in the house, even if it's just a crack, and we turn down the furnace so it doesn't get confused, just to clear the air, clear a little bit of the dust, to welcome in the crisp, cold winter air in this magical moment that feels like the opposite of a summer breeze. It's a little depressing at times, but it's also beautiful because it reminds us we're alive. It feels like there's some cleansing happening. The bright winter light of New Year's Day can do that. I remember taking down the Christmas tree and decorations as a kid, soaked in the New Year's Day sun in our living room, a little sad that the holidays were over, but also a little glad that the holidays were over, where clean and fresh and more simple moments awaited. Every year at this time, I feel like we've come out of a cluttered fall, and I think that happens every single year. Cluttered with something, cluttered with political rancor, hard conversations with friends or family. It's like being surrounded by a haze, like a house a little too adorned still with stuff, material, emotional, spiritual stuff that seems hard to get rid of, hard to sweep away. And anyone knows when you clean one messy room, you realize how messy the other rooms are. Right? It's comparative cleaning. It's this thing that happens, and you know that it reminds you that there's more mess, there's more dirt. Maybe it's under this part that you hadn't noticed before this thing was clean, right? And it reminds me of a story that maybe you've heard before, either from me or others. It's a story I love about Chunda and his brother Raj. They lived in a small village, and above all else, Chunda admired his older brother, Raj, who was going off to the Buddhist monastery. Chunda, too, the younger brother, wanted to go to the monastery and learn, but knew that much of the training was about reciting lessons and learning teachings and practicing quiet and stillness and silence in deep meditation. And he knew he wasn't very good at many of those things. But Chunda wanted to follow his brother Raj, and Raj, his older brother, knew that Buddhism was more than only reciting lessons, only memorizing teachings, and only deep meditation. There were many ways to engage Buddhism. And so he said, Chunda, come along with me. And so they got to the city, and Raj began to study and recite lessons, and Chunda tried to find his way, struggling a bit, so they went to the monastery master. And the master said, Chunda, you are a hard worker, are you not? I've already seen you around the monastery helping out, cleaning, carrying things for people. And Chunda said, yes, I can do that every day. I'm good at cleaning and helping. And the master continued, then I have a special job for you in the monastery. Every day, I want you to go into the meditation space after the monks and the students have meditated and sweep away the dust and sweep away the dirt. But as you do it, say those words over and over. Can you say that with me? Sweep away the dust, sweep away the dirt, and with the hand motions too, try. Sweep away the dust, sweep away the dirt. So Chunda did this day in and day out. After Raj and the other students and the monks would go and meditate in the hall, they would come out and Chunda would go in and he would sweep away the dust, sweep away the dirt, over and over and over again. Sometime later, the master came and said, Chunda, you've been doing a great job sweeping the hall. And Chunda said, I love this. I'm really good at this. I'm not so good at reciting or learning special teachings. I'm not good at sitting still, but I'm good at doing this. And Chunda said, Master, I suppose there's a lesson I'm supposed to learn in this. And the master said, yes. And Chunda said, "It feels to me like the floor is like someone's heart or their soul or their life. It gets cluttered with things day in and day out. And if you don't remember to sweep away the dust and sweep away the dirt, your life, your heart will get cluttered with whatever it is." And the master said, "Yes, that's exactly right, because you understand that life is about balance and it's about work, and there are many ways to gain wisdom and knowledge." Chunda thought for a moment, and then the master continued. He said, "The inner dust in our lives is like grasping or holding on to something for the past, or holding on to some expectations for the future. Maybe holding on to what you are supposed to be or how you're supposed to act, or expectations of other people that you put upon them. And sweeping it away is like letting it go and letting your heart breathe. We need as many brooms as we can." Chunda stayed in that monastery sweeping for days, and then months, and then years. And then every new student that would come to the monastery would learn from Chunda, who became known as the Broom Master, teaching about a deeper sense of Buddhism. We need all those brooms and all those moments that are strong enough and sturdy enough to sweep things away, not under the rug, not to ignore realities, but to move and live in a way that sweeps away clutter, that fills your house or your heart to the point of excess, makes it impossible to move freely, impossible to find any pathway forward for meaning in life. When you truly do a deep cleaning, you don't sweep things under the rug. You lift it up, and you find what's there and find what you thought maybe was gone forever, a toy, a book, Cheerios, a variety of things, some of which you want to keep, some of which you are glad to cast away. You find these things you thought that were gone, and you put them in their proper place. How hard is it to do that in life, each day? To take whatever clutter is out there in the world, to bring it in and understand how you can hold some of it and how you can give other parts of it away. To sweep away that which is unhealthy, clear out that which is in our way, let go of things that we hold on to too tightly, and find their rightful place. Put it in perspective. When you breathe clean air of good food and music and art and friends, and you know that which nourishes you, when you breathe that in, then your heart finds a place to rest, a place of integrity, a place of hope. And you can put whatever comes from that news feed and the discord of the world in its proper place. It's a call to simplicity, as the Quakers call it, or a call to mindfulness, as the Buddhists call it, or ancient practices in Judaism or Christianity of Sabbath, of a holy rest, a sacred centering that frees us from the intensity and the freneticness of a world that is constantly on. There's something fitting about calling it in our world a news feed. It just keeps trying to feed you over and over. And if you've ever been on a farm or you know something about farms, you know it is not good to be on full feed all the time. It's not good for animals. It's not good for the budget. It's not good for anybody. Because if you don't take things easy, if you don't take things in a healthy way, you get sick of soul, body, mind. You can't always be feasting. You have to fast too, and find the balance there between. At this turn of a year, I invite you to think about what brooms you have, what skills, what practices you have to sweep away the dust and the dirt and the clutter of whatever you need to sweep away, to create a graced spaciousness, to open the window and let some crisp air in, to clear the haze and the toxic air that you've been breathing in our world, in your family, wherever it happens to be, to know where the clean air is, to clear the air and clear a path and open the window a little bit so you can see the sunlight and so that you can breathe again. I'm going to invite you to turn to the Ritual of Change and Growth Litany. It's in your order of service. If you came in either during or just after the announcements, the ushers can help get you a little piece of paper. There are also little pencils too. So I want to remind you on one side, and you can just raise your hand if you need one. They can come around, little paper and pencil. On one side, we invite you to write something that you're wanting to let go of. We'll give you just a second here to think about that, either to write or to think if you didn't hear the instructions earlier. Something for the coming year you want to let go of, to sweep away. Maybe it's something in your own life or in the world. Maybe it's a word or a phrase or a feeling, whatever it is. Something that you want to let go of. And on the other side, I invite you to write a hope or an intention, a word or phrase for the coming year. What you hope there is more of in your life, or more time for in your life or the world. So on one side, something you want to let go of, and on the other, a hope or intention, no, go ahead, for the year to come. You can also be creative. If we run out of paper, you can just rip a little bit of your bulletin off, and you can write on that. It's a very interactive bulletin today. So Greg's going to light our annual chalice here for our ritual of change and growth. And as we hope that the flames come about, which is sometimes a question, an uncertainty, a mystery, as we wait for that and as you continue to write, I invite you to think of this threshold of this year and your hopes for the year to come. And will you turn to the litany in your order of service? We come here to say that we have felt loss, have known separation, have mourned, have resisted and feared the threat of life's changes. We gather to realize the potential within us. Within us is the potential to grow.
Growth is forever the same, that we move forward our ultimate shape, that our energies run like a stream, finding life's channels wherever they lead. In the process, we must take on and cast off ways of being.
Within us is the possibility of change. The lesson of growth is the lesson of now. The strength of our spirit resides where we are, not only where we've been. The courage to live is the courage to leave and be left by our stages of being. For the journey, we gather courage from within and beyond.
In abandoning that which held our hearts in bondage, as we recognize endings, so too we invite beginnings. All is yours for the keeping, but none of it possesses you. We carry some things along, and we let some things go.
We are made of our past, present, and future. May we find the courage to separate from fear and dependencies. May we risk the ache of growth and change. We travel with gratitude, humility, and hope. As we continue to seek out the stories of hope in our world in the coming new year, there are also some things we would very much like to put behind us from the old year.
On one side, we have written words to cast away and put behind us, to let them go with the old year. On the other, we have written words to cast forward, purified by the fire of our commitment, that we carry with us in hope and in love for the year to come.
As the music plays, we invite you to come up with your piece of paper and safely put it in the fire. or offer it. If you're a little nervous to do that but would like it still to go in there, you can offer it to me or Greg and we will do it for you. We're glad to do that. During this time, we invite you to bring that which you would let go and your hopes for the new year to be held by these flames. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. May what you have released here be forever gone from your spirit and your soul and cease to trouble you.
May you be relieved and renewed, ever mindful that love is always more powerful than fear, and that compassion is the key to freedom from resentment.
May your soul be held in love, rooted in hope and in courage for this year, the whole year to come, and your life. May it be so. Amen. I invite you, as you're comfortable, to join a hand next to you or place your hand over your heart and breathe deep the breath of life and of flame. Know that the flames light your way into a new year, to let go of that which is holding on to you, to bring forth that which is new and waiting, a graced spaciousness. There is love enough to carry you over the threshold, and it will hold you. And when you need strength, we will hold you. May it be so, and amen.